friends. I hope you're having a good time trying all these recipes from home. This next one is going to be pretty simple and kind of sweet because it's a delicious breakfast smoothie. So if you've got your recipe printed out, we're going to go through the ingredients first, all of our tools that we need, then we'll flip it over and we're going to follow the steps. The big appliance that we're going to use today is going to be our blender, since we want to get our smoothie nice and creamy and delicious. So make sure you've got that handy or nearby. Our ingredients that we're going to start with are going to be a banana. The recipe does call for them to be frozen. I didn't have any frozen bananas, so I'm going to just use a fresh one, and then I'm going to add a few ice cubes just to get that frozen smoothie consistency. Then also calls for almond butter. Again, I didn't have any at my house, so I'm going to use peanut butter instead. So you can make any modifications based on allergies, what you have available, but this ingredient, we're going to use it because it's a good source of protein. So we'll add some protein to our smoothie. We've got the banana, which is going to be a little bit sweet, and then our liquid, the recipe calls for almond milk. Again, I didn't have any. I have some oat milk available, so I'm going to use that as well. With these ingredients, since we are going to, I'm making modifications. The cool thing is with this recipe, all of the measurements stay the same, so you don't have to change it up. And then another thing I'm going to add in, just because I feel like it, is I'm going to throw in a couple frozen berries. So I've got this mix that has strawberries, blueberries, and cherries in it. So I'm going to measure a few out and throw them in as well. So for our tools that we're going to need today, blender is key. We're also going to need a measuring cup and a tablespoon. We're going to need a liquid measuring cup. I'm just going to use this same one today because I don't want to make too many dishes. So I'm just going to use this one twice. I'll use it to measure out my bananas and to measure out my oat milk. I've got the tablespoon, got the blender. I forgot to grab my cup. So we're going to need a cup to put our smoothie in so we can enjoy it. And then a spoon is also helpful because our peanut butter or our almond butter is going to be really thick. So once we scoop and measure, we can use this to help pull it out and get it into our blender. So I think that's everything we need. So go ahead and get your workstation all set up and ready to go with your ingredients and your tools, and then we're going to get started. I'm going to flip my recipe. And step number 1 is going to be to measure 1 tablespoon of almond butter and then to put it into the blender. So I'm going to grab my peanut butter since that's my substitution. And my tablespoon, I've actually only got a half tablespoon. So I'm going to do 2 scoops of this. It's totally up to you how much peanut butter or protein you want to add. So I'm going to take 1 big scoop. You can use your knife to level it off if you want to. I'm going to use my spoon to scoop it out and then just tap and it'll fall right into your blender. Then I'm going to do my second measurement. Again, we're going to hold it over the blender, take your spoon and just scoop all of it out of your measuring spoon and then tap it and it should all fall off. Peanut butter is sticky, so you're probably not going to get all of it. Then you can set your sticky tools aside. I'm going to close up my peanut butter and set it over here. So next is going to be our frozen banana. Again, I've got a whole regular old banana. So first we're going to start by taking the peel off. So I'm going to use my knife and I'm just going to chop the top right off. I've got my measuring cup handy because we're going to need about a cup worth. So I'm going to keep that right in front here. So let's go ahead and peel our peel all the way down the side and set it to the side so then we can compost it. Okay, so I've got 1 banana. I think this should be about a cup. If not, I've got a second one handy. So now for our chopping, we're going to just take our banana. I'm going to hold it with my left hand since I chop with my right hand. Use your knife safety skills. Make sure you've got a good grip on the knife. And I'm going to start from the right since I'm right-handed, and I'm going to work my way all the way over. I want my pieces to be about a 1/2 inch to a 1/4 inch thick. This part isn't super important because realistically, our blender is just going to puree it all up into a smoothie anyway. So go ahead and just practice getting some nice chops and making sure they're fairly even. If we've got some big pieces and some small pieces, they might not all blend up the same. Okay, so as you chop those, go ahead and put them into your measuring cup. Let's see how close we got. Ooh, let's see. It's not quite a full cup, but I'm okay with that. I think it's going to be good enough for this recipe. If you're making a bigger batch and you want to share your smoothie with people, this is where you can make some modifications, and you can go ahead and just add in the 2 bananas and then double everything, and then you can share it with your family members or your friends. So I'm going to take my bananas, now that they're all chopped and measured. I'm going to tap them into the blender. Got one hanging behind. Okay, this is already smelling really, really good. So now I'm going to take that same 1 cup, measuring cup. I'm going to grab my milk. You can use regular milk, oat milk, almond milk, whatever you prefer. First thing you want to do though, make sure your lid's on tight and give it a shake. Okay, so take the lid off. I'm going to pour this into my measuring cup. Make sure I get it nice and full. Okay, got it all the way to the top. So the amount of liquid is important. If you don't have enough liquid in your smoothie, it's going to be really, really thick, and it's not going to blend up all the fruit properly. So this 1 cup is a good ratio to the bananas and the peanut butter. Okay, so we've got our peanut butter in, our banana is in, our liquid is in. I'm going to add some fruit just because I feel like it. So I'm going to take and do, I don't have an extra measuring cup, so I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm just going to make sure I get a few strawberries in there and a few blueberries. Say maybe about a 1/4 of a cup or so. And then also, since I didn't have frozen bananas, I'm going to take about 3 ice cubes, and I'm just going to throw them in here as well. Okay, so now all of our ingredients are in. We've got one important part we got to do is to put the lid on, because if you don't put the lid on this guy, it's going to go everywhere. So we're going to throw the lid on, and then it's already set to high, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit the blend button. It's going to get really loud, so if you don't like loud noises, this is where you can probably step away and ask for help. But here we go. Okay guys, so it is nice and liquidy. You take it off of your blender and you can kind of swish it around. You see it's got a nice liquidy consistency. So now you're going to want to go ahead and grab your cup. I went ahead and grabbed 2. This is a decent amount of smoothie, so I'm going to share it with a friend. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour some into the cup. And it's a pretty good consistency, so if you wanted to use a straw to enjoy it, you can. And there we go, my friends. We've got another healthy, delicious treat that doesn't take very long to make, and it's easy to share, and you can enjoy it anytime you want. So let me know how your recipe goes. Let me know if you make any modifications. Put it in the comments for the classwork activity so we can share it with all of our friends who are cooking at home too. I hope you enjoyed the recipe and are having a great day enjoying all of the fun ABC activities. Shoot us a message to say hi, and I can't wait to cook with you guys in the ABC kitchen.